Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another transfer video for you guys. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. And it feels like we are reloading news from January because Manchester United have yet again come back to the table. Yet again pulled up for one of our scrubs. And yet again look like they could be following in the same footsteps as Mason Mount, because Manchester United have now reignited their interest in Christopher Nkunku. This was first reported earlier today by Loic Tanzi, who works for RMC Sport and Eurosport. He said that United have contacted Nkunku's representatives in recent days to understand the conditions of a possible deal. This was then further backed up by where's the tweet? Further backed up by I've lost it. Here it is. L'Equipe. For goodness sakes, what are we doing today, Lewis? What are we doing today? But yeah, L'Equipe backed it up just a few hours later by saying that United have started initial discussions for Christopher Nkunku, who was under contract until 2029 at Chelsea. I've got the L'Equipe article here. It says, still looking for attacking reinforcements, Manchester United have begun initial talks for French international Christopher Nkunku, who is under contract at Chelsea until 2029. At a time where the presence of Europe's biggest clubs at the Club World Cup should give them an edge at the transfer market, Manchester United is multiplying its offensive avenues. Gotta love translate and everything. The English club contacted the entourage of Christopher Nkunku. My phone's just dropped. Thankfully, it's not cracked. Lovely. So they contacted the entourage of Christopher Nkunku in recent days to discuss the terms of a possible transfer without having to date making an offer. United are still keen to sign at least 2 attacking players, including Bryan Mbeumo. Nkunku is reportedly keen to leave Chelsea this summer. The 14-time French international has attracted interest from several clubs. Although no concrete negotiations have yet begun, it remains to be seen whether United will decide to pursue this path in the coming days. And like we said, this is a player that Manchester United have been linked with before. We had a conversation about this back in January. Man United has an option for Nkunku, but he wasn't open to a straight loan. He wanted an obligation or something a bit more permanent, or to leave the country. There was even quiet murmurs of a swap deal between Chelsea and Manchester United for Garnacho and Nkunku. And thank the good Lord God that this never happened, because I don't even need to get into all the issues with having Alejandro Garnacho at Chelsea Football Club. We don't need that. None of us need that. What else was there? There was other clubs interested in him as well. There was links with Liverpool from Santi Auna. Several clubs, including Liverpool, already made contact. Newcastle, as well as Bayern Munich, among the clubs informed. Where else? We also had something on Tottenham. Here it was from Ben Jacobs back in May. Tottenham have inquired about Christopher Nkunku. He is open to staying in the Premier League, but he would welcome a bid from Bayern. Seems like fucking Bayern were the number 1 pick for him. Obviously, we also had the Fabrice Hawkins bomber. I think this is back in April. Arsenal and Bayern are interested this winter and are expected to return next summer. Other clubs in the running. So clubs are definitely looking at Nkunku, but it's just no one's made the first step yet. Manchester United look to be the first club to have done so, but even then, they've only just spoken to the entourage. We've had interest from Bayern Munich, but we valued Nkunku at around 65 million back in January, which was absolute insanity. But I don't believe we'd be so stupid to do that now, because he's got wages that would be better having off the bill. And it's just an unsettled player. A player who doesn't suit us, doesn't suit the way Maresca wants to play, is mentally checked out the club. A player that we played in multiple positions and never stood out in any of them unless he got penalties in the Conference League. And someone who's awful out of possession. I have no qualms, no problems with Nkunku leaving. Now, he might still do a job as a second striker, which might be the way that Amorim views him, but he must be thinking of playing Cunha up top then, or doing some sort of fluid interchanging front three, because that's the only way I see Nkunku working out next to an Mbuemo and next to a Cunha. Because the only real bagsman there is Cunha. People saying Nkunku and all of that. In open play, I haven't seen his finishing be brazy like that for Chelsea. I haven't seen that at all. He looks decent, but one-on-ones I've seen him miss. I've seen him miss instinctual chances. Only really consistent from the 12-yard box personally. But there is still a player there. And I still think Nkunku's a player that can shine at a new club. I don't think it's all over for him because he failed at Chelsea. I just don't really think he'd do too well in this league. I think if he was to leave England and then go to either back to the Bundesliga where there's a lot more space for you to operate with, or maybe even to go to Serie A, where the intensity is so much lower. You have a lot more space. You have a lot more time on the ball. And Nkunku, we know him. We don't like intense games of football. We don't even like playing intensely or making a lot of runs off the ball and all of that. So I got no fuss. I think he'd do really well if he left England. But seems like he's got a lot of interest still in this country. And most of the money is still in Premier League. So I don't even mind us selling him within the Prem. I don't care. When the player's garbage for Chelsea, I don't really give a damn where we get rid of them, as long as the money that we get in is decent. And I'll be real, I'm accepting anything above 45, anything above 45 million. I wouldn't even be against 40, but at least Nkunku has a CV to work off. He was an ex-top goal scorer in the Bundesliga. He's actually done stuff. He's won cups in Germany. There's a bit of a CV there that might still precede him. So you could look at 45, maybe even push for a 50, 55. Who knows? If I think we can get that money for a Jackson or a fucking Noni, you can get something similar for Nkunku. Something similar. Just because he is still about, 26, 27 years old, something like that. But yeah, you guys, let me know how you think Nkunku would do at United. Let me know if you think it would be the right move and how much you would sell him for. For me, I think he'd do well in one of the inside 10 roles. I think he'd do well as a second striker, but I just don't think he'd do too well in the Prem. And Amorim apparently wants runners in his front line. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell are you looking at Nkunku for? That don't make any sense to me. That don't make any sense to me at all. But yeah, that's all we've got on the Nkunku front so far. Just to bring some more good news to the timeline, West Ham United are still considering a move for Robert Sanchez. Let's go, guys. Let's go. So the article said that Ramsdale's attracted interest from West Ham, who are also considering a move for Robert Sanchez. And I think Ramsdale has about a 20 million release clause, so it's likely that Robert Sanchez would be priced similarly too. I would even sell him for 10 million. I don't care. His playing out the back still ain't good. He's still a liability. Yeah, he won us 9 points. I don't give a damn. He's garbage. And the fact that we're even thinking of walking into next season with him as our starter is an embarrassment. It's a disgrace. It is taking the mick out of this football club and out of this glorious institution that we all support and we all adore. So I hope to God he's gone. Please, I beg and I plead. But I doubt it. I doubt it. West Ham, though, please save us, man. Please save us. You can have Nkunku on a free too, personally. You can have Nkunku on a free as well. There was one other bit of news. PSG turned down approaches from Chelsea and Arsenal and Bayern for Bradley Barcola, who wants to remain in Paris this summer. What he said, apparently, he's got no beef with Luis Enrique, but he just wants healthy competition. He don't mind not playing regularly as long as he has a fair chance at starting games regularly. Which is why I also think, look, if we could just pattern our team up a little bit, even if we win if we're winning trophies and if we're being successful, players are going to be a lot more patient in terms of their minutes. We have to start competing and we have to start winning trophies more soon. Otherwise, the young players that aren't playing regularly, maybe even some of the key players, actually no, not necessarily them, because they're on the death row contracts, and they'd be getting the incentivized deals as well because their performances would be good. But the fringe players, you're more likely to see them leaving if we're not winning trophies consistently in the next few years, which is why I'm so frustrated with the way this window's going so far, because it looks like the same sort of window that we'd have if we finished 7th. The same sort of players that we're linked with. But here we are, innit? Here we are. Big up every single one of you that's locked in, though. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let's go be Esperance. Up the Chelsea.